Hello, Tar Heel Nation. Welcome back to another episode of UNC Hoops Talk podcast. I'm your host, Dan DeWitt. I always feel like I need to apologize because I've been gone so long. It feels like it's been so long. I don't like it either, but we are in the monthly schedule. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening to this at, so you get it each month and you know when it comes out, because I don't have a set day or really time within the month. It's whenever it fits into my schedule, and also a little bit around news coming out and stuff like that. So not a lot this time. Should be a fairly short podcast. Seemed like you guys liked that last time. But yeah, we're going to kind of jump in here before we get into the UNC related stuff, a little more personal stuff that I wanted to keep you guys up to date. If you've been listening to the podcast a long time, you've heard me talk about us adopting our daughter. We have a 6-year-old daughter, a 3-year-old son, and then we took home from the hospital a baby last May. So she's turned 1 now. And yeah, we're in the process of adopting her. It should have happened already, but paperwork and all that stuff has pushed it back. So we're hoping within the next month she'll be adopted. And then we just decided our lives weren't crazy enough. So we added another baby this May. They are a year and 3 months apart, which apparently are Irish twins. And I can definitely see why they're considered twins, because it is crazy to have a 1-year-old and then a baby in the house as well. So, yeah, I had to get this podcast in. It'll be interesting to see this year how the podcasting schedule works and how well I do at it this year. So I hope you guys will stick with me. The monthly ones, hopefully I should be able to find time. When we get to weekly, I'm going to have to do my best, and you guys are going to have to encourage me and give me all that feedback and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy here with a 6, a 3, a 1, and a newborn. She's 2 weeks old. I guess Tuesday she was 2 weeks old. So yeah, 3 girls and a boy. It's crazy. We didn't really expect it. It's another foster baby that we've taken in, so it wasn't like it was planned and we had 9 months to prepare. She was kind of given to us. Well, not given to us. She's not ours yet. We probably will adopt her though. So yeah, be praying or thinking or sending out best wishes to us, whatever you do, because I need them, especially as a stay-at-home dad now. When I started this podcast, I had 1 kid, and it's pretty easy to podcast around her nap schedule and stuff like that. It's gotten harder as again, if you've been a long-time listener, you've kind of probably noticed, and this year will be the most challenging one. But we're going to make it happen. Podcast is not going going away anytime soon. If I have anything to say about it. So still plan on doing it. Love talking to you guys about Tar Heel basketball and all that's related. So yeah, that's just a little bit of personal stuff there. Appreciate the encouragement and support that I get from you guys on this podcast, and just as a fellow Tar Heel fan. So yeah, that's what's up. Before we get into basketball stuff too, I have to say congratulations to the Tar Heel baseball team as they're in the College World Series. I believe they start this weekend. They play Oregon State in the opener. So yeah, hopefully they can do well in Omaha and bring home another national championship to Chapel Hill. So like I said, not a ton going on here as far as basketball related stuff. Probably the biggest thing that's happened over the last month, I'm sure everybody knows, but Luke May is back. So our roster is set for next year. We will not be adding anybody else besides maybe walk-ons up from the JV team. Obviously, I have to fill Thor and Ma's spot from last year, but that's really the only changes. Nothing that's going to affect rotation or anything like that. Luke May is back. Of course, that we've talked about starting lineup already on this podcast, and we'll get into it even more as the season gets closer. But that's kind of the big question going on this offseason is what's the starting lineup going to be? First off, point guard position is the biggest question. Is Seventh Woods going to step up and start and give us quality minutes? Kobe White, is he going to start as a true freshman right out of the gate, or take over at some point this season? And then does Roy go big, as he of course wants to? Does Sterling Manley and Huffman and Brooks make a big enough step that one of those guys claims the starting spot and gets a lot of minutes? Or do we go small with whoever the point guard is, and Kenny Williams and Cam Johnson and Nasir Little, and then Luke May at the 5? I'm sure we'll see both of those. Nasir Little, Cam Johnson, too talented to not have on the floor. But yeah, we'll kind of see what happens there. My gut is, and I'd love to hear feedback from you guys, of course, on this. I think Seventh Woods probably starts the season as a starter. I think Kobe White probably takes over at some point, and if he doesn't take over starting spot, probably gets majority of the minutes. As far as big, small, it really, I think, comes down to Cam Johnson and his health. Roy Williams just had a press conference the other day and said they were taking extreme caution with him, going slow. He had the hip surgery. Cam Johnson says he feels great. Roy said a camper. This week is the Roy Williams camp, or one of the weeks of it, and asked him how he's doing. He says he feels great. So obviously he's coming back, and I would assume he would be ready to go, that he would be ready to go by practice time, and then probably in the starting lineup. But if for whatever reason they're still taking it along slow, then obviously Nasir would start, and I think they go big. And I think Roy probably starts big anyway, whether that's Nasir coming off the bench and just getting more minutes, still getting 20 plus minutes and just not the starting role, kind of like Marvin Williams thing, or however he works it out. But I do think Roy probably starts the season off big, and then if we struggle or big guys aren't producing, goes to the small lineup. But that's just kind of my guess. I have no source on that or anything like that, but it's kind of just my gut feeling on that. Other Tar Heel related news, and please guys, send in what you think about the starting lineup. There's a lot of stuff out there, and actually Blake, who's been on the podcast a few times from Keeping It Heel, has a big article about it. Go to my Twitter. I'll have tweeted it out hopefully by the time this is up. So you can find it on one of my most recent tweets, which I have not been good at this summer. Again, I feel like I need to apologize because I feel like I've just been out of the loop and not on Twitter, and obviously not podcasting every week and stuff. I feel like I'm just out of it, and I don't know, hopefully not letting anybody down, but I just feel like I haven't been able to connect with you guys as much as I would like. And of course that comes from being a stay-at-home dad with a baby and a 1-year-old and then 2 other kids during the summer. So just not a lot of time for that. So hopefully you guys are patient with me and don't forget about me or any of that stuff. But other Tar Heel related basketball news, Kobe White made the USA basketball, I think it's U19, might be U18. I believe it's U19 team who's playing in the tournament right now. They're killing everybody. Panama, they beat like 70 points. It was like 45-0 or something before they scored. They had like 7 at half. It was like, I don't know, 70-7 or something like that at halftime, or 80 something, and they ended up winning by 70 points. It was just crazy, but they were beating everybody by 20, 30 points. Kobe White playing well, getting 11 to 15 points a game, shooting well. Everything sounds like he's just doing really well. So maybe more indication, maybe he comes in and claims that starting spot. Obviously, once they get on campus and they get into pickup games and obviously practice, if we hear stuff, probably more of an indicator than playing against some of these U19 teams where they're just killing everybody. Everybody probably looks good. So I don't know. I have not watched much. I watched a little bit of a game, but it's hard to watch when they're just beating them that bad. So, and then we got draft coming up. Joel and Theo, of course. Theo, if you follow him on Instagram, has been sending out kind of where he's been working out and stuff. He's been flying around working out for teams. Should be coming out. I don't know the exact date. Somebody told me, but later here in June, I think in the next 2 weeks. Which we only have 2 weeks of June left, but yeah, obviously that's coming up here. It'll be interesting to see. Again, I don't know that they may get picked in the second round. It would be a big surprise for either of them to get in the first round, but hopefully they can stick with the right team, make a roster, and get their professional careers off to the right foot and find a place in the NBA for them. NBA championship is over. No championship for the Tar Heels this year, unfortunately. Kind of like the James Michael McAdoo thing, getting one on the curtails of the Warriors. Quinn Cook got one for Duke, unfortunately. Again, the curtails of Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson and all those guys. So Duke got one there. I'm sure they'll. I don't know. I haven't been on Twitter. I haven't seen anything, but I'm sure they're out there with all that stuff about Quinn Cook taking a championship to Durham. So other Tar Heel related stuff, I think that's about it. I feel like there was one more thing I was going to hit on. And now, not roster, but schedule. I think I said last time, non-conference schedule is out. And now we actually have the release of the ACC Big Ten Challenge. But not counting exhibition games, North Carolina starts off November 6th and 9th at Watford and then at Elon before Stanford and Jared Haas come to Chapel Hill. And then the, what's this tournament called? Las Vegas Invitational. There we go. Las Vegas Invitational starts with 2 on-campus games. We play Tennessee Tech and St. Francis of Pennsylvania at Chapel Hill, but it's technically part of the Las Vegas Invitational. No matter if we lose those games, we go to Las Vegas for the Invitational, where the 4 teams are us, Michigan State, Texas, and UCLA. So that's good quality teams to be playing there. And then we go to Michigan this year. We just played Michigan this last year in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. We play them again this time in Ann Arbor, November 28th. We play UNCW, and that's, let's see, Greensboro is West Miller. So this is CB McGrath, December 5th. And then we have Gonzaga with a home and home. We start at home this year, Chapel Hill, December 15th. And then Kentucky in Chicago for the CBS Sports Classic, December 22nd. Davidson at home this year, the 29th of December. And then Harvard, January 2nd to end our non-conference. And then for the ACC schedule this year, we don't know when these games are, but we know the teams we play twice are Duke, North Carolina State. We do, both of those are every year. And then Louisville and Miami. So 4 quality teams to be playing twice in the ACC. And then at home, we have Florida State, Notre Dame, Syracuse, Virginia, Virginia Tech. So at least at Virginia's home. That's the one that kind of sticks out there. Notre Dame's a tough place to play. Florida State, we never usually play very good at their place. So those are home. And then on the road, we have Boston College, Clemson, Georgia Tech, Pittsburgh, and Wake Forest. So actually favorable. Obviously, those teams we play twice are all quality. I don't think we're going to have the easiest team in the ACC, which I think the last couple of years has been the team that has won the ACC, the one statistically with the easiest route. But those road games are I would say, favorable for us. Boston College, Clemson, I think, lost some guys. They'll be down a little bit. Georgia Tech, Pittsburgh, and Wake Forest, all good road teams to have, as long as we can pull most of those out, I guess. So yeah, we'll talk about the schedule more, obviously, as stuff gets set in stone, as we get closer to the regular season. July, hopefully I can get somebody on here talking about July or August. I think last year I pushed it off to August, but talking about recruiting and looking, obviously, at the guys coming in, Leaky Black and Kobe White and Nasir Little, and kind of the impact they'll have this year. But then also looking at guys that we're after for next year. We have the point guard. I forget his Jeremiah something. Same high school as Sterling Manley, I believe it was. We got him signed for next year. But looking at other guys we're after, and maybe even the year after that. So yeah, let me know who I should get on as far as to talk about recruiting for either July or August. And then, of course, as we get into September, October, we're talking about the season. Our prediction podcast is always a big one. So please subscribe, keep sharing it out, show the love of the podcast. I appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget about the podcast here in the off season so we can ramp up before the next season. And yeah, just be thinking about me and these 4 kids here this summer. We're going to have a lot of fun, but it's going to be interesting. So that's all I got. I guess I should make sure we don't have any questions here as we end the podcast. We've been live streaming on YouTube, and then I'm also on Periscope here. I haven't seen anything on Periscope. We'll see on YouTube if anybody's left any comments, and that's all I got here. So yeah, make sure you're subscribing. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio. I mean, it's everywhere. Also on YouTube if you want to watch the video of it. And let it load here. It doesn't look like anybody's left anything. So that's all I got for you guys this month. I will see you guys in July. Hope you guys have a great summer. Remember to watch and cheer on the baseball team in Omaha in the World Series. I'll be watching the World Cup as well. I played soccer through college, so big time soccer fan. Love World Cup summers. Just nothing better than that. But Yeah, that's all I got for you guys this time. Until next month, this is Dan DeWitt signing off. Go Heels.